You know, we're here tonight at the St. Benedict's honoring the basketball players in the past, but the guy who really brought all this together was a guy named Bill Brokel, who was one of the coaches here in the early A stages, and as I grew up, was one of my mentors. Bill brought me on as I was in high school on what we called the County Mac baseball team, and I learned a lot from Bill about playing baseball and about life. And right after I came out of the service, after I spent 3 years playing baseball for Bill, I ended up coaching with Bill with the Untouchables for 8 years. And Bill and Kenny Muir and I really got to know the kids and see how coaching influences kids in their future. And Bill Brokel was the type of guy in today's society would have been a head coach at a major university. But in those days it wasn't that way. He was just good with people and knowing talent and getting kids to put their best foot forward and being able to work the best. And he could see things in a lot of kids as they were doing sports that nobody else could see. And Bill was just the type of individual you were happy to be around, and was very good for sports in our community. He played professional baseball, and he was just the type of guy, as I keep saying, you wanted to be around Bill because he was a winner. And brought a lot of good things to the community and a lot of good things to the sports at St. Benedict's, at the Untouchables, at what we called the Mohawks, Tom Cheney Mohawks, which is in those days was like a semi-pro baseball team of young kids, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. And we played for 3 years and went to 2 national tournaments with him. But he understood everything, and he was a great individual, and I sorely miss him. And tonight's just part of honoring him is what we're doing. So, to everyone from St. Benedict's, go Bengals.
I'm Father Pat Tucker. I was here as associate pastor at St. Benedict's from June of 1979 to October of 1981, and I was appointed pastor of St. Martin's Church in Englewood. When I got here, there was plenty of activity going on, particularly the athletic program was very impressive. Hard work of many people, including Pat and Joan Sardella, and John and Pam Fraser, and Lloyd and Mariette Lardnoy particularly. And one of my recollections is the initiation rite of being brought down to the beer clinic, and then they passed the boot around, and always trying to make sure the toe was up so you'd get splashed with the beer when you took a sip out of it. Having had some science, I knew that was not the way to go. But I'm glad to have an opportunity to be connected with people, and seeing a lot of the kids that we work with turned out very well.
My name is Manuel Lopez, and I was born and raised about 5 minutes from St. Benedict Church. I graduated from St. Benedict Church, went to Mendel Catholic High School, and all of a sudden, the year after I graduated from high school, I was coaching basketball. Probably the person most influential in my getting into coaching was a gentleman by the name of Bill Brokel. And I'm not really sure how we initially met. I think it was through baseball. I think I was umpiring at the time. And so he got me into basketball and also into coaching the Untouchables at that time. And it was just a great experience in being able to see how someone would handle kids. And he was I would say he was a disciplinarian. He didn't believe in practicing for just the fact of running around. Every practice really was a game type situation. So we didn't just run here, we ran there because that's what we were going to do in a game. So from basketball, from football, I had a group of very good kids. And I said, Bill, we've got a great bunch of kids up at St. Benedict. They're in 7th grade right now. They're going to go into 8th grade. And I need your help to really try to get the potential from what these kids were doing. And Kennedy Muir was on the team. Bobby Fraser was on the team. And just some of the names I can't even remember. In fact, I've met so many of them tonight. It has just been phenomenal to relive seeing these kids when they were in 6th and 7th grade, and now all of a sudden as parents and as coaches. Several of the coaches that are the kids that we coached ended up being football coaches and also basketball coaches. Bobby Fraser, Joe Gura, Danny Lang, and I'm sure I've missed many of them. And it's just great and nice to know that maybe something that I did had an influence on them, and that they continued with their lives and either play sports or be successful in whatever their endeavors were. I remember helping Bill when he had his sports store and tried to get that going while he was working, and again also coaching. And his son Billy Brokel actually was my grandson, or godson I shouldn't say, and it was nice to see him again tonight for many years. What? Yeah, I've got two quick stories. In fact, I just saw Kenny Muir out here, and what I remember most is I remember being on the football field, and Bill wanted me, we were short scrimmage players, so he says, why don't you just stand there and pretend that you're going to be a defensive lineman or something like that. And I said, okay, whatever it needs to be done. And all of a sudden the whistle blew, the play started, and all of a sudden I remember getting thrown up in the air, flipping over, and there's Kenny Muir with the biggest grin on his face that he got to coach. And in basketball, there were so many great memories, and probably the most important one that I can recall is one of our players, his name was Jan Havlatovich, and he was in an accident. He had his leg removed, so he only had one leg, and he wanted to play basketball, and he was an aggressive young man. He was a good ball player, and he played first string for us. And I remember one night up at the gym, and at that time we used to have radiators along the walls, and it was always kind of bad because, if somebody wanted to really mess you up, they just hit you into the radiators. And so we were in the middle of the game, first quarter, and all of a sudden, boom, there was a foul under the basket, and there's Jan, and his leg had cracked in half. And so we took him up to the locker room, and it's just like, wow, because you heard that crack in the gym, and everything was just silent. So he was fine. His dad said, he'll be all right. I'm going to go get his other leg so he can continue playing. And so Jan's dad went, got his extra leg, came back, put it on, and Jan assisted in going back into the game. And we won. And it was just, it was an example of just determination and not letting a handicap get in your way of something that you want to do.